Hello everyone, it's Rhino, and in this Play It Right video we're gonna have a little preview of Crave, a new card game coming to Kickstarter by Black Forest Studio. Crave is a deck building card game having only these beautiful tarot-sized cards. You either take the side of the bloodthirsty vampires or you join the mighty vampire hunters. In the game, you'll battle your opponent and use your influence to bring new characters, spells, actions, and items to your side from the available cards in the market. Your goal is to deplete the opponent's life down to 0, and you can use your patrols to defend yourself. There are some other factions taking part in the battles as well, like werewolves, groupies, enchanted, and also plants, all having different strengths and unique abilities which you'll try to leverage and build a powerful deck. It's fast-paced, it takes around half an hour to play, and it's primarily made for 2 players, but you can play up to 6 if you have more copies of Crave, and you can play in teams of 2 or 3. Each of the sides, the vampires with the red color and the vampire hunters with the blue, find their starting 10 cards, which are the ones with the crescent moon icon, and place them face down, and this is their draw deck. The other cards with the same color group go into their private market deck and can be acquired during the game. So each of the sides sets their private market over here by laying out 4 cards, and these cards can be bought by them only. Then in the middle you have the public market containing cards from all the other factions. You have 5 of them open at any one time, and these are available for both sides to purchase. The starting health for both players is 70, and your goal is to bring your opponents down to 0 to win the game. Each player also gets a reference card with some special abilities and keywords explained, and leaves some space over here for the discard pile. To start, you determine a player to go first, and that player draws 4 cards, while the second player, and in all successive turns both players as well, will draw 5 cards. The second player, on their first turn only, they may look at the top card of their draw deck when their turn begins, and they may discard it, move it to the bottom of their deck, or leave it on top, and they draw 5 cards as normal. The gameplay has 2 phases, the primary phase and the discard phase. In the primary phase, you play your 5 upcoming cards face up on the table, and you'll be able to use their abilities and the attributes that we'll see in any order you wish. This attribute here indicates the card's influence. You add it to the influence of the other cards and use this sum to acquire new cards from the public or your private market. The newly acquired cards go into your discard pile for later use. This is the attack value of a card. You can sum up the attack values of all your cards in play and use it to attack your opponent. Some cards, called patrols, have a defense, and they can be either sentries with the yield icon on them or sentinels with the stop sign. Both the patrol types remain on the table until defeated, and they protect you. When you attack your opponent or their patrols, your total available attack is reduced. You may attack any number of times on your turn as long as you have attack remaining. When you match your opponent's patrol defense with your attack, you defeat it and is discarded into their discard pile. When you attack an opponent, their life points are reduced by that number, and we're gonna see how this works in a bit when we do an example of a turn. If your opponent has a patrol with a stop sign in play, a sentinel, you need to defeat them first before you can attack the other type of patrols, the sentries, or attack your opponent. There's also the health attribute that allows you to increase your life points. In your turn, from your cards in play, you can use all of the attributes mentioned as you see fit and in any order you choose, and the same holds for the abilities. When you're done, you move on to the discard phase. Any remaining attack or influence are lost, and you place your cards into your discard pile, leaving behind only the patrols and also items attached to these patrols. Then you unstun any stunned cards if there are any. If your opponent had used the stun ability of one of his cards previously against you, then you would have needed to turn it upside down, indicated it's not able to attack or gain any attributes or abilities until the end of your upcoming turn. So you unstun these creatures in your discard phase, then you draw 5 new cards and you place them face down on the table, and your turn ends. If your draw pile is gone, you shuffle the discard pile and draw from there. Now it's your opponent's turn, and play goes on like this until one side's life points are depleted. One thing we should mention is that some cards may be trashed. This might be because it's directly listed as another card's ability, or it could be indicated by the mark on the bottom of the card. By trashing a card, you remove it completely from the game, and this can help to strengthen your deck. A perfect example of cards you'd need to trash are the plants. Plants are poisons which are dropped into an opponent's deck. When you acquire them, you slip them in the opponent's discard pile, and they will attack them when the card comes into play and may have additional actions. Let's see an example of a turn to see the flow of the game and get more familiar with the cards and their special abilities. In this example, my opponent on the side of the vampire hunters finishes their turn with these patrols still in play, Anzo, Albus the dog, and a groupie. It's now my turn and I play my hand of 5 cards. The Blood Moon Blade is an item and it has to be equipped to a being in use, so I attach it to Violet, a vampire. Now, Violet here may turn a groupie, which means that the targeted groupie turns into a body shield for my side. So I can use this ability and take my opponent's groupie, turning it sideways. When it will be my opponent's turn, they need to first defeat her in order to proceed in attacking me and my patrols. My Blood Moon Blade is fatal, so I use it to defeat one patrol automatically, so I go for Albus the dog since it's sentinel and has to be defeated first, and Albus goes into my opponent's discard pile. My total attack power is 3 plus 1 plus this symbol, which refers to the number of spellbind cards in play. I have only one, so it's a 1 in this case, making a total of 5 attack. It's not enough to kill Anzo as his defense is 7, so he'll stay in play, but I use my attack to reduce my opponent's life points by 5. Violet here has also the Drain ability, which allows me to increase my health by her attack value, so I increase my life points by 3. Now my influence total is 7, so I can use this to acquire a new card from the public market or my private market. I choose to buy Vaughn from my private market, which has a cost of 5, and I place him into my discard pile. When he'll come into play later on, if defeated, the Last Words ability will give this bonus, which is 2 attack to my opponent, and he has the block ability. This ability allows him to be turned sideways for 1 full round, so he cannot be attacked by my opponent until he's vertically aligned on my next turn. With my remaining influence of 2, I acquire also Puck from the public market, and I have 1 remaining influence which is unused and lost. This ability here, and all the other ones with faction icons next to them, refers to having at least 1 more card of the same faction, so werewolf, in play in order to use this bonus, which I don't, so I cannot use it. So now I discard all of my cards except the 1 patrol I have with her item and the turned groupie. I get my next 5 cards and my turn ends there. Then my opponents start their turn in the same way. So this was Crave. I hope you found the preview helpful. You can find the Kickstarter link of the game in the description box below, and you can always like and subscribe for more videos. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.